Hey there, everybody. Welcome into a new episode of the Rapala We Are Collegiate Bass Podcast. This week, being joined by the winners of the latest MLF College Series tournament at the St. Lawrence River not that long ago, Cooper Gilroy and Hayden O'Barr from the University of Alabama, with the one-day total weight of 25 pounds, 1 ounce. Got the victory there. Cooper, real quick, man, coming from where you guys live and go to school down in the South, making the trip up to New York, getting the win at the St. Lawrence River. How cool was that to be able to go to probably what's a new scenery and setting for y'all and have a major victory against teams that some may have had success and familiarity with that fishery and others not, but y'all pulled off the victory?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, it's my first win in college, and honestly, to do it at the St. Lawrence River means a lot to me. I'm from Connecticut, so I'm kind of a northern guy. You know, I'm a smallmouth guy. Spent all summer chasing after him, but yeah, there's no other place I'd rather have on that trophy than the St. Lawrence River, man. Special place.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a cool connection. We'll dive into that a little more as we talk about the significance of the victory and how y'all caught your fish. But Hayden, real quick, same for you, man. Initial reactions out on the College Series, major national level tournament to get the victory. What's that mean to you and also the team for that matter?
Yeah, it was a pretty sweet win for us up there. I had been, I guess, 3 years before that for the college natty, and that was my first time up there, and it was amazing. And we saw it on the schedule and definitely wanted to go back up there again just as a fun trip. But it turned out that, we had a pretty good week. But I'm from Guntersville, so I understand the largemouth pretty well, but smallmouth are new, and I haven't really got to fish for them a ton. But it was a good week. We utilized all the electronics, during the week, and kind of like everybody has been lately, we were out there live scoping, but we caught a lot of fish dragging as well. It wasn't just full blown that, but it was an awesome week, and it was good for the team to finally get a win.
All right, Cooper, knowing you've got some expertise and knowledge being from up north, not too far there from the St. Lawrence River, as you said, home is in Connecticut. Talk a little bit about how the fish were setting up that week and maybe what a typical late summertime pattern is for those smallmouth.
So typically, honestly, all throughout the summer, I'm pretty much offshore constantly, whether it's dragging or scoping with a minnow, like Hayden said. And, it was actually my second time being at the St. Lawrence River, and I've never fished a whole lot of current, so it was definitely a little adjusting period for me in the first 2 days of practice, getting used to that. But once we got it dialed in, we actually caught a ton drifting throughout the week. And we weren't super set on going scoping for them, but then the last 2 days of practice, we ended up finding a bunch of big fish that were, floating on bait and roaming. And we figured if, we ran all the way to Clayton, so if we were going to make that run, we needed to make it count. And with only having a few, 3 or 4 or 5 hours to get it done, we figured that scoping with the minnow would be our most efficient bet, just because, we could see him. We knew we had a chance, and it all worked out. So, yeah.
Using that live scope in those scenarios, Hayden, talk a little bit about what you're looking for and as it pertains to the reaction of the fish. Are you looking for them to be set up on the bottom? Do you want them to be suspended? As they move around, can you tell which ones are going to make a shot at your bait and eat it and others are going the opposite direction? Kind of break down a little bit of what you're seeing on the screen as you're targeting those fish with live scope as you determine whether you want to drop on them in general, and then once you do, what you see in terms of their reaction.
Yeah, so typically when we're out there, St. Lawrence, for example, the fish can either be, about midway through the water column on bait, or fully on the bottom behind boulders, rocks, whatever, to stay out of the current. And so that pretty much was our deciding factor on what baits we threw. If they were up in the water, we were going to throw a Demiki and try to give them a bait presentation. But if they were on the bottom, on some spots that we pulled up to, we would either start off with a Carolina rig or a drop shot. And so pretty much we would just roll up to these spots and just kind of see how they were setting up, because it was different every place you went, just depending on the bait and what was there. The first spot we pulled up to, they were all pretty much suspended and chasing bait, and so all we were throwing was a Demiki. But we probably put 30 or 40 fish on the boat just right off the bat because there was just so many fish chasing bait.
Yeah, that's always cool to see how it plays out and what you're targeting him with. And as you talk about those different setups, Cooper, go into a little more detail about whether it was the size hook, weight, style of bait. What exactly were y'all tying on for those specific combinations to get those fish to bite?
So there was a couple baits. I know me and Hayden are both very proficient with live scope. I mean, I personally have been using it ever since the first Panoptics came out. I'm very familiar with it. So we knew if we can get around those fish, then it would be a thing to do. And we also kind of saw the bait that they were spitting up. They were pretty small, so we ended up downsizing, going to a 4-inch bait. We also mixed in a 5-inch bait here and there, but we figured out that they were really keen on that smaller bait in the bait balls. So we ended up using, a 2-aught, 3-aught hook on a 3/16 ounce weight. Pretty much just and it was tough because certain fish on different spots kind of sounded like they wanted or seemed like they wanted different presentations. So we kind of had to mix up our presentation in order to get them to bite. And by the end of the week, we pretty much had them dialed in. We knew how they wanted it in this spot and how they wanted it, and we kind of just ran through that, and we ended up catching them. So.
Hayden, you talked about being from Guntersville. That's on the Tennessee River, not far from where one of our tournaments this upcoming season will be at Pickwick Lake in Florence, Alabama. Talk a little bit about maybe, if at all, your experience on the Tennessee River. I'm not as familiar with targeting smallmouth like y'all did up at the St. Lawrence particularly, but those fish relating to current and the way that a river system flows and affects the way that those bass are going to set up, did that play at all into your ability to contribute to kind of a game plan and figuring out what was going on that week?
Oh, 100%. Living around this little area, we have, the Tennessee River, and that's a current system, and it's not necessarily crazy current like St. Lawrence, but we also have Coosa River, and the current, it sets up how these fish want to ambush bait. And so learning that pretty much my whole life, I've been pretty well in the St. Lawrence River because I understand how they set up in the current. And most of it's just fish are going to find something to break the current so they can just sit behind it and wait for bait to come through them. But out there on the St. Lawrence River, some of those fish, it didn't even affect them. Like they were out just roaming in the current like it was nothing. And, at home, a largemouth would never do that. But that took a little adjusting. But for the most part, the current breaks and how a river will sway in certain places, that will definitely decide our factor on where to fish throughout the week. And the shoals, that's really what we targeted, was shoals and the current breaks behind them. And the shoals would come up in about 20 to 25 foot of water, and we'd be fishing the break out in about 30. And that was how we found the fish position with the current out there.
This episode of the Rapala We Are Collegiate Bass Podcast, we're being joined by Cooper Gilroy and Hayden O'Barr from the University of Alabama, winners of the MLF College Series event at the St. Lawrence River. That's going to count towards points for the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia. We just dropped the preseason ACA preseason poll, the top 25 rankings there, entering this new campaign. Some people may or may not know the University of Alabama has a rich history in collegiate bass fishing. So this year we're celebrating our 20th year of the Association of Collegiate Anglers. Part of our organization and operating is the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia, of which Alabama won in 2016. Cooper, talk a little bit real quick, this victory for you guys as it pertains towards the team goals for this season and that School of the Year race. What does that do for y'all to one of the first major events of the season to take to the water to get a victory? What's that do for the team?
I think it definitely kind of lights a fire underneath us, stay consistent. I know we got a couple new guys. I know Hayden's graduated already, but I'm a junior, so I have a few years left. And it's really going to be a grind this year. I can't wait to get back on the road and start fishing these tournaments. I know me and a lot of others on our team are really committed to doing well this year. So I think we're going to have a pretty good team this year, and we're going to be a team to watch out for sure.
Hayden, talk a little bit about maybe the history of the club or what you do know about it to be in a part of that group. There's been since the start of the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia. I believe there's been 12 titles awarded and a handful of different champions, if several have won it multiple times. But to be included in that group with the University of Alabama, what's that mean for the history, now for y'all to be able to carry on that legacy? But looking back, the history of the team and the people who have passed through that program to lead to the point for y'all to be where you're at right now. Kind of talk to that.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. We had, Dustin Connell fished on the team, and then we also had Hank Weldon on the team, and he was one of the people who helped start the team for us, and it's pretty awesome to be just on a team that those guys were on, and hopefully in the future that maybe those guys might come back and help out the team for the guys coming up, because I think if our team just had a little bit of help, man, we could really make it to the top. And I'm proud of the guys, and I really hope they have a good year this year.
Yeah, I believe Hank was present at one of the very first, if not the first, ACA National Championship event there at Lake Louisville. And then Dustin, we crossed paths some. We had him on the podcast recently. He was in school the same time that I was also attending college. And cool to see different teams throughout the years and the history of those programs and the people that have come through and where they're at now today as it pertains to the fishing industry. Cooper, real quick, man, just kind of an overview, a snapshot of the team right now. How many anglers do y'all have? How many boats do you have out there competing as a school-ran club like y'all are? A lot of work and effort goes into that to be able to carry on throughout the year. Just kind of, for listeners that may not be familiar with the team presently, kind of give us a breakdown of who's on the team and what y'all what y'all are looking to achieve this season.
So, yeah, I'd say, we probably have, 20, 30 guys in the team, 10, 12 of them with boats. And I know we just recently have a new president, so we're pretty inspired to get after it this year. We recently got Hillary Martin next year. I know she's going to be fishing the bass events. So I think we're going to have a pretty good season, man. I know me personally, I've been grinding all summer and finally taking a break a little bit. Fishing's not so good around here, but I don't like it. I like fishing every day, so it's been kind of sucky. But, yeah, like I said before, I'm just really excited to get back on the road when these new schedules come out and everything. So I'm pumped, man.
Hayden, last one for you. We'll keep it fair, get everybody the same amount of questions in. Same thing as we're moving forward. What are you looking for both personally and as a team to accomplish this upcoming school year?
Yeah, I graduated in spring, so I'm working on becoming a captain on Lake Gunnersville, take out guide trips, and so that's my next big thing while I look forward to fishing at the next level. And I'm still going to help out the guys, and I know Cooper and his partner this year. I think they're going to have a really good year, and I'm rooting for them.
That's awesome, guys. Thanks for joining us today. That's Cooper Gilroy and Hayden O'Barr from the University of Alabama, winners of the MLF College Series event at the St. Lawrence River. Had a one-day total of 25 pounds, 1 ounce to get that major victory. Those points will be included in the upcoming standings to be released soon for the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia, so keep an eye out for that. We'll see where the guys and gals from the University of Alabama are located in the standings when the first points update is released. Again, gentlemen, thanks for joining us today, and we'll safe travels out on the road and best of luck fishing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Welcome to Minnow King. How can I help you?
Everything looks good. I'm friggin' starving, man. Been spawning all morning.
Ugh, TMI, bro. What do you want?
I'll take a Crush City freeloader and gizzard shad.
Anything to drink.
Water.
Pull ahead, please. Welcome to Minnow King.
We're gonna have what he's had.
Yeah, throw me in a net BLT, too.
Pull ahead, please.
Calm down. Quit feeding him so much.
Hey, man, I'm trying to, man. If you
If you overfeed him, he's gonna hide under a log.